Ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned right before the break, we are super excited to be joined by the internet's most notorious gossip columnist, the one and only Perez Hilton. Perez, my man, welcome to Sensible People.
Thank you for having me. I
Absolutely.
love the world of podcasting. I have one myself.
I know, and we want to talk about that in a little bit, but I want to mention you're already a better guest than Tom Arnold, my friend.
Oh
Well,
no.
he was on
Well,
CNN the other day. Did you see that?
he was with you on CNN or on your
No,
podcast?
no. Did you see him on CNN by chance?
No, I mean I know he was making news because of Michael Cohen, but I didn't watch the interview. What was wrong with it?
Perez, check. It's like a 2 minute a clip. Give it after this. Look him up. He's on CNN. It is the most awkward interview you will see.
It's just a
Why
lot
was
of
what was
blank
awkward
stare.
about it?
Well, I think he showed up a little inebriated, to say the least, and
Really?
it was almost hard to watch. I must tell you. I don't know if he needs to go to rehab or what, but it's like one celebrity after another that gets bitten by the drug and alcohol.
He was just
Well,
kind of
I'll
like
have to watch it myself to judge for that. I'm pretty good at figuring those kinds of things out. I mean, I haven't watched it. I had only read the headlines, and I'm not like one to defend Tom Arnold, but let me
yeah.
play devil's advocate for a second and just think that, because he was talking about sensitive things and because of everything that happened with his ex, Roseanne, and, legal matters, that I think maybe he just very extremely overabundantly carefully worded himself.
That's
Maybe
fair.
that's it. I don't know.
Perhaps. I don't know. We'll let you judge, and then we'll circle back with you and
Yeah.
get an answer.
All right.
Fair enough. So Raw Dog and I have listened to your the Perez Hilton podcast a few times. I must say it's really rather entertaining. So tell us a little bit about the podcast for those that don't know. Tell our fan base, Sensible Nation, a little more about the podcast and then your website and what else is keeping you busy these days.
Awesome sauce. Well, oh my gosh, I can't believe I used that word. I haven't used that in like
I love it.
half a decade or something.
Bring it back. We're bringing it back.
Well, I'm a very busy person. I do a ton of different things from my website to I've been doing acting lately. And I've been doing the podcast now for a few years. And I love getting on other podcasts to talk about it because podcast listeners listen to other podcasts
Yeah,
as
for
well.
sure.
But what sets mine apart is that I don't have any guests. We did it first, and then I realized, God, this is such annoyingness, and I don't really want to be talking to people that just have something to promote.
Yeah.
Like, I want to hear myself talk, but not just me. What makes my podcast great isn't me, because I could do it on my own and it would be a quarter as good as it is now. What makes my podcast talking about everything pop culture, which is celebrity news, whatever's trending. What makes it great is my co-host and I together. He's this macho, like mechanical dude from West Virginia who is the complete opposite of me. And usually when you have podcasts, you have, co-hosts that are like-minded individuals talking about their shared common interests.
Yep.
He and I have this shared common interest, but we're the just furthest apart from each other. And it's a lot of us disagreeing about things, but I think that makes it really compelling to listen.
Absolutely.
So sometimes we agree on things, and that makes me feel good too. I'm like, okay, you're finally right for once.
Well, that's why we loved your podcast, Perez, because she's not with us here right now. She's on maternity leave, but that other co-host that we had is kind of like the polar opposite of Taylor and I's opinions, and that's what we love too. Is that dynamic? What I wanted to ask is how did you originally get hooked up with Chris Booker?
Sure. Well, I used to call in every morning to AMP Radio here in Los Angeles because Carson Daly used to have a radio show here. Unfortunately, that show, he left allegedly. And that show is no longer, and they got rid of everybody on the show, from the producers to me. And they completely, put in a brand new cast of characters on there. But whenever Carson was off, Booker would fill in. So he was the fill-in guy. And I loved my chemistry with him, even more so than with Carson Daly. So when it came time to do a podcast and I was approached about it, I was like, I know exactly whom I want to be my co-host. And if people want to listen to it, they can check out the Perez Hilton Podcast with Chris Booker on iTunes, or, and this is a little tip that I tell all my fellow podcasters, people are lazy.
Yeah, they are.
Make it even simpler for them. You could tell them go to the iTunes and type in the Perez Hilton podcast, or you could tell them just go directly to perezpodcast.com.
No doubt.
Get a custom URL for your podcast if you don't have it yet, so that you could also say go there or there, and then people will at least remember one or the other, and then do whatever is quickest or easiest for them.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. Yeah, we do have sensiblepeoplepodcast.com, and oftentimes that's just the easiest outlet for us to share.
Yeah.
So you mentioned on the podcast, I think it was either the last episode or the one before, that you're doing something with Chippendales in Vegas this summer. Can you share a little bit about what you're doing and reveal to us what edition of 8 Minute Abs you're trying to get your ass into shape on? Because that seems like it's a daunting task.
Well, back in the 90s, I went to college for acting. So I have a theatrical background. I'm a trained thespian.
Perfect.
And I've done a lot of acting over the years. I've been in movies, I've been in TV shows, I've been in musicals. And it's been about 2 years now since I've done a show. And I was itching to get back on stage. And also, I'm a father of 3, which maybe some of your listeners don't know. They might have known me or remembered me from something else. But my life now is a very, very busy, working hard father. And one of my biggest mottos in life as a father of 3 is, how can I make more money, spend less, make more, spend less, make more, spend less. So, it was, I forget what month, but I got a press release about the new celebrity host for Chippendales, which was, his name is, I think, Tony Davolani or Tony something from Dancing with the Stars.
Yep, sure.
And I just literally had a light bulb go off in my mind. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to email this publicist whom I know and pitch myself.
Right.
Because it would be like a free vacation, basically. Even better, it would be a paid vacation.
Hell yeah.
I would take my whole family with me. I was like, I'm interested, and these are the dates. Basically the dates were the 6 weeks between my son being done with summer camp and the start of school, because I didn't want to be gone for that long either, just because, it's important for me to be in Los Angeles, and, things are here and things pop up, and I would have to turn down other things. And also, I didn't want my kids to be lacking in total structure for that long either. School ended a couple of weeks ago, and this Monday, he started in summer camp. So it just seemed perfect. And they said yes. And I loved it, because it's a perfect marriage of their brand and my brand. My followers are overwhelmingly female, and the people that go see Chippendales, though it's very inclusive and men are welcome and men do go, overwhelmingly in the audience, it's predominantly female.
Of course.
So, I'm going to be a celebrity host unlike any of the ones they've had before, whereas Tyson Beckford and Antonio Sabato Jr. were more of like a glorified Chippendales member.
Yeah.
I see myself more as your best friend or the ringmaster, like making sure that everybody's having the best time and that the energy is at 110.
I'm sure you'll do a good job at that, Perez.
Well, I am sure as well. I guarantee
I like that answer.
Excellent. So are you going to still keep up with the podcast then? I think you release every week, right?
Yeah, of course.
Beautiful.
The only thing that may suffer, at least temporarily, until I'm done with rehearsals and any initial crazy media around it for the first few weeks, my YouTube might suffer, but hopefully it won't. I'm very active on YouTube as well. I'm the busiest person I know. I have not one but 2 YouTube channels. I have my main channel, which is Perez Hilton, and on there I, make daily videos where I talk about all sorts of different things. I do my daily pop culture recaps. I'll have celebrity interviews on there. I do musical performances with artists that come and perform in my backyard.
Yep.
I'll do music reaction videos. Everything entertainment, pop culture is there. And then The Perez Hilton is my family channel.
Okay.
So I'll have my kids opening presents. My mom is on there. People love my mom. They love watching my mom eat. It's hilarious. But I'll also talk about dating. I'll talk about anxiety. I'll talk about parenting. I'll talk about health issues. And I love it. I love making the videos. So I hope I hope they don't suffer too much at the beginning, and if they do, then it's okay, because I've got to be a professional, and I'm getting paid to do a good job at Chippendales.
Yeah, it sounds like you offer and relatable material for anybody to be able to watch your YouTube channels.
Yeah, man, I try. I mean, it's all about being authentic, and I am. And that's the most important thing, because more often than not, I'd say 90% of people on social media are fake. And I think that's why people enjoy following me from Instagram to Twitter to Facebook to Tumblr to Snapchat to YouTube, because I'm not fake. And when I'm, feeling like I'm sucking like a dad, I let you know. I'm like, this is the reason why. Or when I feel like, I'm not living up to my potential for this reason or that reason, I let you know. And I also do try to inspire and help people as well, and share my knowledge and what I've learned along the way. I'm a 40-year-old grown-ass person now.
Yep. No doubt. So, I think a lot of people just need more authenticity in their lives. So that's good to hear.
Yeah.
So we know, obviously, what put you on the map. You're the king of celebrity gossip. And we know you're a good friend of another so-called king of gossip, that being Howard Stern. So Howard recently shed some light on his past interviews with Donald Trump, in which, Trump would ruthlessly kind of rate women celebrities on their looks and whatnot. Have you heard of that?
All of which was public knowledge. I mean,
I think he just brought it
not
back.
Hidden.
Right,
Yeah.
because it hadn't been in the public's eye for very many years. So with that said, we thought it'd be a fun spin to turn the tables and have you, Perez Hilton, rate Donald Trump. Now, we have a very special rating system here on Sensible People that we just crafted up for this episode. So bear with us as we explain. We've got the first number is a 0 through 9, and that's on the face. And then the second number...
On the face? What do you mean? Like
judging
his
his facial looks, his appearance.
Well, how am I going to do that on a podcast? I can't see you guys.
No. Mr. Trump. You're going to rate Mr. Trump.
Oh, okay. I'm not listening to anything, just the face.
Right. You're just judging Donald Trump's face.
Gotcha.
From a beauty point of view. 0 to 9. 0 being the worst, 9 being the best.
Okay. Oh, all right. I'm starting right now. All right. 0 to 9, I would give him a 3.13. 3.13.
Okay. 3.13 on the face. Now, number 2 is a 0 to 2. So 0, 1, and 2. There's 3 different options on whether or not you would sleep with them. 0's in absolutely under no circumstances. 1 is only if you're under the influence or within the requirements of a bet. And 2 is absolutely no matter what situation there was. No bet, no influence, nothing. So 0 through 2.
I would say 2. Just because I would try to pull a Stormy Daniels and make as much money from it as possible.
We all love money, huh?
Yeah, I do.
For sure.
And then number 3
the
is
last number.
Very similar to what number 1 was, which is that first number, 0 through 9, but this now is on the body.
Oh, God, I feel bad because, I'm a former fatty. But, he's an awful human being. So I'll just straight up give him a 1.01.
1.0.
That's awesome.
So we got a
ladies and gentlemen-
3.13. We call this the area code rating system. So we got a 3.13 to 1.01 Donald Trump.
Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Donald Trump, rounding up to be easy, is a 3-2-1. Thanks, Perez.
Which is actually a Chicago area code, Perez. So I don't know if you did that on purpose.
So
it was meant to be.
We're big fans of the WWE and the hit MTV show Celebrity Deathmatch, if you recall that one back in the 90s.
Yeah.
So who would you consider over time perhaps your biggest enemy, and who would you see yourself pitted against in a Celebrity Deathmatch style
We'd
show?
make you like a clay figure. Who would you want to fight in that match?
Oh, gosh. It would probably be me versus rotating casts of annoyed fans of celebrities.
Just wave after wave.
Yeah, wave after wave, like this group of fans and that group of fans and another group of fans.
It's like a battle royale.
Yeah.
So what would your finishing move be then, Perez? You can use a weapon if you
gosh.
want to.
I know. What would my finishing move be? It would let me think. I would have some kind of I'm trying to think of something ridiculous. I'd have like a ridiculous costume on, and my underwear would be like equipped with flying abilities, and my shoes would as well. So I would just fly out of there.
Perfect.
Sounds good. Perez, who across all the people you've ran across throughout your career, who would you say is the biggest celebrity asshole or dick that you've encountered?
Not necessarily a rival, but just somebody that you would say is a dick or asshole to the
Rubs you
public.
the wrong way.
I mean, there's so many.
Yeah, I figured that.
I mean, even just on Friday, I'm not going to tell you guys what he said.
Okay.
That's fair.
But because I don't want to give it power or gasoline. I was on this TV show on Friday, and one of the guests, because it was so weird. I just think he's that kind of person. You know, there's that kind of person who, on one hand, is genuinely excited to meet you, and on the other hand, is just a douche, and it's ingrained in their DNA to be a douche and to give backhanded compliments. So I was on this political talk show on Friday, and one of the guests was Ronald Reagan's son, Michael Reagan.
Okay.
So he just said the most backhanded compliment to me. It really took me aback. I'm like, whoa, wow. Okay, I'm going to go get my makeup done now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even going to engage. I didn't engage then. I'm not going to engage now. But, you know, that happens all the time. But thankfully, what happens more often than not these days is people, celebrities or regular people telling me, you know, I love following you on Instagram. Your kids are so cute. You seem like such a great dad.
And that's what you want to hear. Just, you know, that you're an inspiration to a lot of people. Oh,
I mean, I'm inspiring myself. I have to inspire myself. I got to keep going. You know, you know, I have a lot of people depending on me. I have 3 kids and my mother that I financially support as well, who lives with me. So that's a lot of mouths to feed, a lot of schools to pay for, and I'm doing it all without a partner.
Yeah, hard work, got to pay off.
Yeah, that's my biggest motto in life. I do believe that hard work will get you very, very, very far.
You got that right, brother. So, all right, another one putting you on the spot, and we promise this is the last one really on the spot. Who would you fuck, marry, and kill? Seth Rogen, Kanye West, and Matt Lauer are the options. He's like, what the hell did I get myself into?
I'd probably fuck Matt Lauer.
I love it.
He probably is the best at it since he's such a D-bag and had, you know, so much sex with his subordinates. Then I would kill Kanye West and marry Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
Perfect. Sounds like the life.
Yeah. All right, so Perez, sensible or not, which is actually, you know, a staple segment of our show. We're just going to give you one question. Sensible or not? Is it sensible to demand to see a permit from an 8-year-old selling water?
Absolutely not sensible.
We figured you'd say as much, and we're in the same boat with you there.
Well, actually, I thought you guys could talk about this as well when you read up on it. I saw the most ridiculous news story this morning about a 13-year-old middle school or high school student, a 13-year-old, who secretly recorded his principal being charged with some ridiculous thing. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Was it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this student charged with eavesdropping after recording talk with principal, and he's just 13 years old, or she, I don't even know, an Illinois middle school student. Yeah, a boy, Paul Boren, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, ridiculous.
Yeah, I feel like school's changed a lot.
Not
since
sensible.
we were in school.
Yeah, not sensible.
Not sensible at all. Well, Perez, we thank you for your time, man. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks for jumping on with us. Hopefully we can connect again in the future. Tell us one more time your website and where we can find the podcast, just once more.
All right, you guys. Perez Hilton here. You can follow me on perezhilton.com. You can also follow me. I'm everywhere, and so is the website. We each have our own social media handles. Perez Hilton for the website, The Perez Hilton for me, on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Tumblr, on Instagram. I hope to connect with you. And the podcast is the Perez Hilton Podcast with Chris Booker. You can listen to it on iTunes or directly at perezpodcast.com.
And Sensible Nation, you heard it first. Donald Trump is a 312, according to Perez Hilton.
All right, buddy. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Perez.
Thank you. Have a good one. Bye.
You too.